Hey everyone, welcome in. We're doing our fourth episode today of Caps on the Coast, and we're super excited to talk about everything that's going on in the world of football right now. We wanted to take a bit of a different approach today and discuss the Canadian men's national team and everything that's been going on that front. Obviously, it's a super exciting year because we're leading up to the 2026 World Cup, which is going to be co hosted by Mexico, Canada, and the United States. And that tournament is set to kick off in June. So we're stoked. This is an exciting time in soccer, and there's no better time to be talking about the Canadian men's national team because we've never been at this point with the club and country where we can feel so good about what the Whitecaps are doing and also about what Canada's doing. So, as always, we're going to talk a bit about the Whitecaps, but we're going to dive into the World Cup group. We're going to dive into some of the Canadian transfers that have been going on. And yeah, we're super excited to talk to you today. And Grandpa, how are you feeling leading up to the tournament? Are you excited?
Yeah, very excited, Ty. We've got the World Cup just starting in about 5, 6 months from now, and we've got a lot to be excited about. With the games, 7 games going to be hosted here in Vancouver, and some games also in Toronto. So we've got some good opportunities for Canadian fans to watch some games. And if we don't get tickets, well, at least we have some excellent games to watch on television. So, how often do we host the World Cup? Once in a lifetime, no doubt. And we should be excited.
Yeah, it's an amazing opportunity. And as Canadians, we're super grateful to be a part of this. And we've been working to grow the sport in this country for years now. Soccer wasn't always a big sport in this country, but feels like in the last 10 years we've taken some big strides, and some of the coaches and the players who have put effort into that is making a huge difference. And us as independent media now, we will hope to leave a mark as well and just build up some hype around this tournament. I hope all you fans out there listening are going to get behind the team and support and do your best to watch a game. I know we've discussed how FIFA and the way they've gone about this ticketing process is very controversial, and we don't agree with a lot of ways that they've done it because they've made it extremely difficult for home supporters of your country to get tickets, which isn't the way it should be. And there's a lot of price gouging going on, and it's just confusing, the whole system they've created, and they've made it very difficult for diehard fans like us to even get tickets, which seems a bit ridiculous, doesn't it?
No question about it. Some of the people that have season tickets to the Whitecaps and Toronto, those fans should have the first opportunity to support their national teams, and they're not getting that opportunity.
Yeah. We've kind of done everything we could have up to this point to try to get tickets. I mean, we've applied through almost every portal, and yeah, I mean, we're still waiting to hear back on the newest one, but yeah, they've made it very challenging for fans, and I think it's going to discourage fans in the future to want to support an organization like FIFA. I mean, soccer is soccer, and it's always going to have a huge fan base, so I wouldn't say they're necessarily going to lose fans, but definitely leaves a bit of a sour taste in your mouth when you want to go to a game and it seems like it's nearly impossible to get tickets. Yeah, we know the groups now. All the groups have been announced for the World Cup, and of course, it was always going to be a bit saturated with the tournament expanding. What is it, 48 teams now?
48 teams. We've gone up from 32. So that's a huge increase. That's, 150% increase. Yeah, we're not always going to get the quality in some of the matches that we might expect, but it does give more teams, more countries the opportunity to be represented.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for smaller countries who haven't had the chance to be in the tournament before.
That's right.
I guess that's the upside of it.
Yeah.
Of course, for FIFA, the upside is more games, more money, more revenue. That's probably how they're looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Something like 108 games, 108 games in just under a month. So, yeah, it's gonna be insane how many games there will be. But yeah, it's cool to see some of these smaller countries get in, like Haiti and Cape Verde. They would have never made it if it was 32 teams. There's no way.
No.
And then in Europe, it's kind of the usual teams, but there's still the European qualifiers going on. So we're going to see which teams come out of that. And of course, Canada will be involved in this because they are hosting. Vancouver has 2 of Canada's games in the group stage, and Toronto has one of them. And we now know we'll be playing Switzerland, Qatar, and then the winner of the European playoff. So we're going to be looking to see who comes out of that playoff. And just going off the teams here, it'll be Wales, who are ranked second in the world currently, Northern Ireland, who are ranked 69th, Bosnia and Herzegovina, who are ranked 71st, and Italy, who are 12th. Jesse Marsh, the Canadian coach, has said if Italy are the team to come through out of this play-in portal, that Canada will by far have the hardest group at the World Cup out of the host nations. Do you agree with that statement?
Definitely. It would be a perfect world for Canada if Italy doesn't qualify, and we have either Wales, Northern Ireland, or Bosnia, Herzegovina to play. Italy is ranked number 12 in the world, and they won the World Cup 4 times. The only other country in the world to top that is Brazil, who won it 5 times. So I know Italy haven't played that well, but they actually missed the last 2 World Cups. So they haven't in the last few years had the same kind of team, but there's no question. They've got a lot of talent, a lot of depth with the Italian team. So if they come through, it's going to be the toughest game that Canada has to play against Italy in Toronto. With many of the fans, with the Italian contingent, many Italians live in Toronto, so that's going to even make it more difficult to play against Italy.
Yeah. I think a matchup that Canadians want to see is Italy because of the excitement and the stories that are already starting to take place in Toronto because of the fact that Toronto has such a big Italian community. The game would just be sensational and it would be box office stuff. But another interesting matchup that I've been eyeing up is Wales. And we beat Wales back in the September friendly window. We beat them 1-0 in Wales. Yeah. And we beat the Welsh, and their manager came out after the game and said that he was very displeased with the Canadians celebrating on the field after their victory. He thought it was disrespectful that our players celebrated after winning a friendly. And he actually called for Canada and said, I hope we see you guys in the World Cup. So there's already a bit of a storyline there with their coach. So it would be an interesting matchup. But I think it's likely going to be one of those 2 teams, either Italy or Wales, that come through. And you just got to hope that Canada's ready for it. The only downside to having a play-in team is you don't know who's going to come through. So it's kind of hard to prepare for that game. If you're Jesse Marsh, it's hard to prepare when you don't know who's going to come through and meet you on the other side. So I'm sure he'll be patiently waiting to see who qualifies. And then, I think we should touch on the other teams in the group, of course. Qatar, what do you think we can expect with Qatar?
Well, Qatar is ranked number 54 in the world. And I think we have more depth. We have more quality than Qatar. To be honest with you, I don't know really too much about the team. We are. There's no reason why. It's certainly going to be an easier game against Qatar than it would be against Switzerland or against Switzerland. Switzerland ranks number 17 in the world. So we would expect of the 3 games, Qatar would be the easiest. It would be the game we have to win.
Yeah, it's our must-win game. It's our easiest game out of the group. I mean, no doubt about that. I know Qatar has had an all right qualification process, but they have had trouble scoring goals. Defensively, they're not very solid. Yeah, there's definitely opportunity there for Canada to exploit some of their weaknesses. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the World Cup and there are no easy games. So I'm sure Jesse Marsh and the team will not be taking this game lightly. But, it's definitely a must-win game to get out of the group because the other opponents are not going to be as easy.
No,
And then if we take a look at Switzerland, they are an underrated team. Granit Xhaka is their talisman. He's the leader in the midfield, and he's been having an unreal season with Sunderland in the Premier League. And he's got Sunderland performing very well right now. And he's kind of pulling the strings in the midfield. He's a workhorse, so he'll be a tough challenge for our team to deal with. But yeah, Switzerland are solid. They're structurally sound, and they're going to prove to be a difficult challenge for Canada for sure. They're ranked 17th in the world. They are higher ranked than us, and they have experience at the tournament. I think that's something that can't be understated. They've been here and they've competed in at least the last 2 World Cups that I know of. And I think they've made it to the round of 16 in both. That's kind of been their ceiling so far. They haven't gone any further. But yeah, they got a good squad, and it's going to be a tough challenge. But also, any team coming out of that pot 2 draw in the World Cup is going to be a tough challenge. I think we kind of knew that. We honestly got lucky in a way with how it turned out with Qatar and Switzerland, but we did get the worst of the teams in the play-in draw just because of the chance that we could be faced up against Italy. That was, I'd say, the unlucky part of the draw. Yeah, we were watching that, and Wayne Gretzky stepped up, and he was having a hard time pronouncing some of the countries that day. And I was worried that he was going to not give us such a good draw, and that's kind of what happened. I guess we can't really say it was biased at all because he gave us the worst possible opponents. So he definitely didn't have any say on who came out of that draw. But yeah, how do you see this group going? Do you think we have a chance to get first in the group?
Well, again, we're not sure now whether Italy's in or not, but I would, the idea is to become to get first or second. I think we'll get through. I think we'll get through into the playoffs. I'm not sure we'll be in top spot. To be perfectly honest, I think if we can squeeze through number two, we'd be satisfied. That's right.
Yeah. The way the tournament's structured now, 8 of the 12 third-place teams get through to the next round. So if Canada do get third, there's still a good chance they can get through as long as they have at least a win or a couple draws under their belt. So yeah, it's all about getting a win on the board, really. You want at least 3 points to get through. Yeah. And then after that, it's kind of up in the air to what will happen. If they do get first or second in the group, I believe they continue to play in Vancouver for the next rounds. So that's of huge benefit to them. They're going to be aiming to get, first place. And if Canada get first, this is a little hypothetical. If Canada get first place in the group and Portugal get first place in their group, Portugal and Canada would face off in Vancouver in the round of 32. So how cool would that be? That would be a fun matchup. Yeah, it would probably not be one that would favor the Canadians. So yeah, I think we've touched on the group here. Is there any other groups that stood out to you? Is there any teams that you thought, wow, this country has an easy group?
To be honest with you, Ty, I didn't look at the groups that well, so I can't offer an opinion on that. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I thought Argentina had a really easy group. Yeah, I forget all the teams off the top of my head, but it wasn't the best. I'd say the group of death going into it was France, Senegal, and Norway. I forget who the 4th place team was, but just those 3 teams in the group alone make it almost the group of death because of all the lower ranked countries that are in the tournament now. It's hard to say group of death because none of the groups are extremely challenging. But one opponent that we will face off against soon from the World Cup is Uzbekistan. We just Marsh announced that we'll be playing them on June 1st in Edmonton. And they had qualified for the World Cup. They're a smaller country, but good on them for getting through. And I think it'll be a good warm-up game. It's coming right before the start of the tournament.
That's right.
Yeah. And the other friendly that the Canadian men's national team is about to play is this Saturday. They're kicking off against Guatemala, and this game will take place in California. So what do you think this game offers to the Canadian Association? Do you think it presents a new challenge for the younger players?
We've got to remember that Guatemala, we played Guatemala a few months ago and they beat us 2-1. Am I right on that? Yeah.
Well, actually, it was, I believe it was 1-1, and then it went to penalties. They won on penalties.
Did it on 2 penalties. Yeah, 2-1. But the opportunity here, because we're going to be playing with just MLS players, it's just an MLS call-up, and I think 19, 20 players were called up. It gives the opportunity for some new players to play for Canada that have never played before. So it's an ideal opportunity for Marsh to see how these young players can play. You know, we're still 5 months away before the World Cup. So people like players like Ralph Friso, who had a wonderful season with Vancouver, Jivan Badwell from Vancouver, who had got quite a bit of playing time also. He's a midfielder, pre-source defender, and Rayan Alivi, a forward, who came on and scored a couple of goals, I believe, in the season from the bench. So these are opportunities for these players who have good seasons with Vancouver to take that next step and see what they can do on the national team. So this is an exciting opportunity for them. The other players who have a chance to, they might be on the bench, they might come off the bench, are 3 players from the Premier League who are also training with the team right now.
Yeah, Canadian Premier League, yeah.
Yeah, Canadian Premier League. And this is I know all the fans who watch the Premier League, National Premier League, and in Canada are very excited for this opportunity as the players themselves are. I'm not sure about pronunciation. Noah Apatina comes from Atletico Ottawa. Diego Coimbra comes from Halifax Wanderers. And Shona Jimo comes from Inter Toronto. So, they're all young. Jimo is only 17. And, it's amazing. He's going to have an opportunity to play for his country. They'll come off the bench, depending on how the game's going. They might not get that much playing time. But I think it's a testimony to the quality now of the Canadian Premier League. And I think it's wonderful that they're having this opportunity. And I believe the coach of the Calgary team, Weldon, has been asked by Marsh to come to the camp. He's at the camp right now, helping with the coaching. That's the other thing I'm thinking about is these players are not in mid-season form, and they've just been training. They've had a break after the season finished. They're going to be playing Guatemala team, which I would assume is in season form. So it won't be an easy game. But it's an exciting opportunity for our team to play some young players.
Yeah. There's a lot to touch on there. I agree that it's a very exciting opportunity for players from the Canadian Premier League, because I think what it does just at a grassroots level is it gives players hope and opportunity that they can compete and earn spots with the national team. And I think it'll only drive competition even further within Canada to want to compete for those spots at the national team. Because I know players who have gotten called up in the past and gone back to their clubs usually show some kind of extra oomph in their game after being called up. For example, I look at Marcelo Flores. He was supposed to be at this camp. This is a Tigres player. I think he's 20 years old. He was supposed to be at this camp, but last minute he was not able to because he hasn't officially committed to Canada. but he was called up to our last camp. He did since he hasn't committed yet, he's not able to play in the games, but he's able to practice with the team. And after going back to Tigres after his first camp call up, his play has improved significantly, and in his last game he scored 2 goals for Tigres and helped them win the match. So players like him who coming in on on their first call up, they kind of go back to their squad with a chip on their shoulder, and they're like, hey, if I compete and show my worth week in week out, I can earn a spot on this team. So it's really exciting for the young players, and it just creates more competition, and it allows for players to be discovered and developed earlier.
That's right.
Because in Canada, we've always had a trouble developing players at a young age. Like you look at a player like Moise Bombito, who was only discovered 3 years ago. And even Marsh was saying how ridiculous it is that no one knew who Bombito was until he was 22, 23 years old. And now he's playing in the top league in France. 2 years later, he was playing for Colorado Rapids, and then now he's at Nice, OGC Nice, and he's been doing really well there. And he's been a revelation for the team. So yeah, it's important to keep growing the game at this level, at this low level. I just want to read through the roster here that they've called up for this camp. Give these players some credit because they've worked really hard to get to this place, and it's exciting for some of them. Noah Abitne, who you mentioned, he's a defender from Atletico Ottawa. He's a young prospect. It's exciting. Zorhan Basong from Kansas City. He's been called up to a few camps now, and he's done well, so I expect him to start in this game. I guess I should preface this by saying most of the MLS players will most likely be starting the game against Guatemala because they've had the experience. I don't think Marsh is going to roll out a team of players that haven't even played for Canada before. Richie Larea, he's one of our more experienced players on the squad with this call-up at least. Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy from Montreal. He's an exciting young player too. Kamal Miller, who we've grown to know over the years. Joel Waterman from Chicago Fire. Ralph Priso, as you mentioned, from Vancouver. So those are our defenders there. And I think it's exciting for Kamal Miller and Joel Waterman because they get to be the leaders in this group and they get to showcase themselves and I guess try to prove to Marsh why they deserve to be in that squad come the World Cup. Because a lot of these players won't be in this rotation for the World Cup. You'd think they would be getting called up a few years down the line from now, maybe at the next tournament in 4 years. For some of the veterans, it's time for them to prove that they can show up and play well. Mathieu Chouanier in the midfield, Marcelo Flores, who I mentioned, but he won't be coming anymore. Shola Jamo, Jaden Nelson, who now plays for Austin. Jonathan Osorio, it's a big camp for him. I expect him to start. Malik Henry from Toronto FC. And then up top, it's 3 really young strikers who haven't got a ton of time. Ryan Alumi is one that I'm going to keep an eye on. As we know, he plays for Vancouver, and he hasn't got to play a ton. Actually, I don't think he's played for Canada at all. It's his first camp.
I was going to say, Ty, this will be his first chance to play for Canada. Alumi and Priso, if Priso starts. I don't know if Priso's going to start.
Yeah, I'd think that Priso might start in center back. I think that would be cool. I don't know if he's going to get the nod over Kamal Miller because that is the side that he plays on. It's unlikely, but maybe he'll see some minutes towards the end of the game, or maybe he'll start in the midfield. Who knows? And then Jason Russell-Rowe from the Columbus Crew. I expect him to start up top as our striker because he has played for Canada quite a few times, and he's done well. He scored some goals, so yeah, I would expect him to start up top. But out of all those names I mentioned, who stands out to you in particular?
Well, Camille Miller is definitely a worthy mention. Did you mention Badwell? No, Badwell is not on your list. Stephen Badwell?
Yeah, I didn't see him on the roster list here, but maybe I missed him.
Yeah, because I think he's...
No, sorry. He is here, yeah. Yeah,
he'll be there. He is there, but he's a little bit like Lumi. He'll get some playing time, but probably off the bench. But I think they've all the players you mentioned have proved that they're capable of stepping up and playing well.
This is kind of a camp for the future, you could say. Like, it's about bringing in young prospects and mixing them in with a few older guys on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that just creates a winning culture when you kind of acclimatize these younger guys to the older veterans who have been here and have been doing it for years. And I think it's important to learn from these players because they have so much to give. And like a player like Jonathan Osorio, who played for Canada at the last World Cup, and he knows what it's like to play at those levels. And I think his experience and his know-how with the game is going to wear off on some of these younger players. And yeah, it's only going to motivate them to try even harder. Yeah, it's going to be a fun game on the weekend. It's less so prep for the World Cup, I guess, because a lot of the players that will be at the World Cup aren't at this camp just because they're in the middle of their European seasons, and there's a Champions League window coming up soon, and tons of stuff going on with international football, or club football at the moment, especially in Europe. So yeah, I understand why it's not a camp for those guys. It's more of a camp for the younger guys, but yeah, it's exciting. They're all in the off season right now, or at least most of them. They're not playing club football, so I'm sure their fitness levels won't be up to par with what we could usually expect, but it's a cool proposition to bring them in, and so a lot of these guys have a point to prove. I mean, they want to show the manager and the coach that he made a good decision in bringing them. So yeah, they have a lot to prove, don't they?
They do. Rich Larea is one player who stands out, has stood out for Canada the last few games.
Yeah, a lot of people say he was our best player.
He was he's
this season.
One of our best players the last few games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so yeah, a lot to look forward to. And to close out the podcast, I just wanted to talk about the transfers that have been going on. There's been 4 key transfers for the Canadian players in the offseason, 2 for the Whitecaps, which we're quite familiar with at this point. And they came as a bit of a shock. I mean, I can't say I was surprised that Ali Ahmed left, but Jayden Nelson was a bit shocking considering we are now very low at our wing depth with the club. But I guess let's start off with Jayden Nelson because that transfer happened first. But what can you tell the listeners about that transfer?
Jayden Nelson, actually, he's gone, as mentioned earlier in the podcast, to Austin FC. And he was looking for more playing time. The last month or so, he's got very little, if any, playing time. He hasn't been given that opportunity to get on the pitch very much. And it was almost like a request. He had that opportunity to play for another team, which he wants. And especially with the World Cup, the opportunity to play for Canada, he wanted more playing time. I remember he started off in a bang. He scored 2 goals in his first game.
He had a goal and 3. He had a goal and 3 assists.
He just come from Toronto and Toronto FC, and we were marveling at his speed. And I mean, he's always got his speed, but he wasn't getting the time the last month or so, and that's for sure. With the playoffs, for 1.2 million to Austin.
Yeah, it was a good deal for him. I think a lot of players with the Canadians, especially, you're going to see this year, are taking some risks in their transfers, and I think the reason for that is they kind of need to before the World Cup because most of these players aren't shoo-ins for the squad. So they probably feel like they have a point to prove and they want to earn their spot on the team. And the only way to do that is by getting playing time, of course. You're not going to earn your call up on the bench. So they want to go to a club where they're going to be playing as much as possible. And I think Nelson's made a good decision because Austin is in the Western Conference. They're an MLS side. And they play counterattack football. And they're in deep need of a winger with some pace. And they haven't had that in their previous season. So yeah, he's going to play a lot. I wish him the best. I hope he has a good season. And who knows, we might even see him back at the club in Vancouver, because I know he enjoyed playing there. He's said it on multiple occasions that he enjoyed it playing in Vancouver, and he likes the team, he likes the players. So yeah, I don't see a reason why he wouldn't come back in a few years maybe. But yeah, another player, another left winger, similar to Nelson, Ali Ahmed, who we've all grown to love as Vancouver supporters. He has moved to the English Championship, to Norwich. This was a huge risk for him, for a multitude of reasons, and I'll let my grandpa break that down. Yeah, he goes to Norwich on a $2.2 million transfer from Vancouver. And yeah, you want to talk about that transfer a bit?
Norwich is Jeff City, Norwich Canaries, who is playing yellow, are third from the bottom of their league. Um, and so they're in a position where they could be relegated and move down to the is it the Championship League that follows?
League One is below the
League One.
championship.
So they're in the Championship League right now, which is one league lower than the Premier League in England. So, you know, will they? He's going to have playing time, but he could find himself playing, depending on how the team plays the last few games, playing in League One, which could be considered a bit of a step down from the MLS. So if he can prove to Norwich that he can help them, it'll be wonderful for Norwich. But there's some people shaking their heads a little bit about this particular move.
Yeah, it's a risk for him for sure because of the relegation battle that Norwich is in right now. They're going to struggle to stay in the championship. I personally think they will, just because of the magnitude of that club, and there's high expectation there and they're expected to do good things. They've played in the Premier League recently, so they're used to high competition. And yeah, I don't see them finishing bottom three, even though they are in that position right now. But I think Ahmed's a good signing for them. He'll help them for sure. I just don't know if they'll help him because, yeah, it's a difficult league to play in. It's very physical. And Ahmed won't have the same kind of joy and space on the wing as he did in the MLS. It's a different type of league. So it's a challenge for him. He's got to acclimatize to that environment and he's got to do it quick. There's only 5 months before the World Cup, so he wants to be in the best form possible going into the tournament. Yeah, who's to say we could be looking back on this move in 6 months' time and be like, wow, this was a stroke of genius from Ahmed and his manager who got him the deal. But yeah, it's kind of up in the air. We don't exactly know what's going to go down. But he's wanted to make this move to Europe for years now. He's said that for a while. So yeah, good on him for getting out of Canada and trying something new, trying a new journey, and hopefully we'll see him back at the club one day too. It's kind of weird even picturing him playing for another team right now. I can't imagine it in my head. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt to see. And then yeah, there was 2 other Canadian transfers that I wanted to discuss, and it was the 2 goalies who are in battle for the number 1 spot. We have Dane St. Clair, who moved from Minnesota to Inter Miami on a free agency. And then we have Maxime Crepeau, who left Portland, and he's now with Orlando City in the Western Conference, and he will be their number 1 keeper, as said by the coach. So yeah, they both have number 1 keeping spots at 2 big clubs in the Eastern Conference, and I'm going to be keeping my eye because there is now a Florida derby, and the 2 goalkeepers will go head to head in that derby. Obviously, Miami have Messi and a lot of other really good players, so it's not necessarily the most even derby, but it's going to be cool to see the number 1 and number 2 Canada goalies.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be cool to see. So yeah, what did you think about those transfers? Do you think they were good for the players?
I'm a little disappointed Sinclair, because Dwayne Sinclair's gone to Miami. I mean, he's the number 1 goalie. He's going to a team that's already stacked with good players. You know, it doesn't seem fair that he. But money talks. I guess he went to a free agent. He had that choice. his contract was over with Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota did offer him a huge deal though to stay at the club, and he rejected it. But yeah, you can't really blame him. I don't think many players are going to turn down that opportunity.
Yeah. The climate is a little milder, a little nicer in Miami than Minnesota.
Yeah, that's for sure. Completely different.
Crapo, his career seems to be sliding a bit. It has the last couple of years. He broke his leg a couple of years ago. Remember?
Yeah.
He's sharing goaltending, and he'll be with St. Clair, probably taking turns with the national team in the World Cup. We'll see. It's a challenge for everybody else, but he's leaving Portland to go to Orlando. So hopefully, I wish both players the best. We need them for the World Cup.
Yeah, we want them to keep competing, of course, at club level, because this race for the roster, as you call it, will only be as good as it is at the club level. If these players aren't getting minutes, it's not much of a race for the roster because they're all playing at similar levels. So it's important to have this competition, and
that's right.
Crépeau needs the number one spot again. At Portland, he kind of lost it at the end there to James Pantemis, who's another Canadian. But yeah, we haven't seen James Pantemis play for Canada in the number one spot yet. We probably will against Guatemala on Saturday, I would think.
Yes, I think you will.
Yeah, it seems like he's the front runner for that.
Uh-huh.
We wish Crépeau and St. Clair the best, of course, at their new clubs, and hopefully, I mean, I'm sure St. Clair is going to have a good year with Miami. If he can live up to his name now and the pressure that comes with that club, I think he'll do well, because there, of course, is a lot of pressure playing for a club like Miami. There's so many expectations. If you lose a game or two, you're going to be put into question immediately, right? So, yeah, it's important that he starts off well, and then Crépeau at Orlando. Orlando's got a good team too, and I hope he doesn't make too many mistakes. I think that was the criticism at Portland, is that he was making quite a few mistakes. So we'll have to hope he continues to do well. And then the last transfer that is of news and of importance to us is a new midfielder has been signed by the Whitecaps. We had our eyes on a midfielder coming in. We were saying the Whitecaps really need another winger, a depth winger for the left wing, or I guess right wing could be helpful as well, and then a midfielder. And so far, they've signed a midfielder, and it was announced yesterday. And yeah, do you want to break it down?
Oliver Larraz is 24 years old. He's a midfielder, free agent signing from Colorado, the MLS team there. He played there for 5 years and virtually played every game last year. He's not a big goal scorer. Scored just 3 or 4 goals, few assists, but I think he will be very coachable. And this is the gift that our coach brings to the team. His ability to work with young players and develop them to their full potential. So I think Oliver Larraz will really benefit from having the coaching that the Vancouver Whitecaps have, and we welcome him to the team. I think he'll do really well, and he's certainly in perfect age for joining the team.
Yeah, I think that's what's good about Jesper Sorensen, is it seems like he gets the best out of every player, doesn't it? He's certainly done well with the young players like Bodwall and Priso and Alumi and all these guys that have stepped up last season. It seems like he's gotten the absolute most out of all of them. I don't know how he does it, but it's been remarkable what he's been able to do with the team. This player is only going to benefit under him. He's only going to improve, and it's good that we are signing some depth. I know Axel Schuster and Jesper Sorensen trust in the squad that they've built up to this point, and they're not looking to make any really big signings. I would assume we'd signed a U22 player soon, U22 initiative. And I think that would be a big help to the team, because we do have that spot available in our roster. And yeah, the Whitecaps just left Vancouver. Actually, they went. They're in Spain now, in Marbella, Spain, for their preseason training camp. So yeah, that's exciting. I don't know who their opponents are yet. I don't think they've announced. But yeah, it'll be a good time to see what some of these new players can do, and it'll give Sorensen time to maybe make some tweaks to the team and make sure everyone's all ready to go. But something that's curious as of late is there's been a lot of noise around Tristan Blackman. They were saying how, like, the media was saying how he maybe wants to leave the team, or he's not showing up to their medical examinations in Vancouver leading up to their flight to Spain. But I think all those rumors were put aside. It seems like there's a lot of talk, but nothing's actually happening. He was rumored to maybe be joining Miami on a $3 million transfer fee, and Axel Schuster then denied all rumors of that, saying that he intends to keep all the players on the roster at this point, and he's not looking to move anyone out of the club, which is contrary to what the MLS reporters were saying. So yeah, it's weird. Like, what have you made of all this noise lately?
Yeah, we need to get this issue settled. You know, it doesn't help the team, it doesn't help the club, it doesn't help the other players to have this mystery over his status. So hopefully we'll get this sorted out very quickly.
Yeah, and other than that, I mean, the team's looking good. They're ready to go, and I think we're gonna have another good season. We hope to make it to the finals in every tournament we play in again, although that's very unlikely. And that was kind of the magic of last season. Looking back on it, we made the Canadian Championship final, we made the MLS Cup final, and we made the CONCACAF Champions Cup final, which were the 3 tournaments we played in. So we essentially made it to the finals in every tournament we played in.
Yeah.
And another thing to look out for is the Whitecaps will be competing in Leagues Cup this year as well. So they're going to have 4 tournaments this season. And it's going to be crazy. It's going to be another crazy year. I would expect some injuries again, although I hope that's not the case. With all these games, it's hard not to imagine some injuries popping up. But I think as the Whitecaps did last season, they're going to have players step up, and they're going to be able to cope with those injuries as they've done all last season long. And yeah, we expect another good season. Virtually the same squad going into it. So if they're able to replicate at least part of that success, and hopefully they can win a significant trophy.
Yeah, I think you've summed it up very well, Ty. We had a very successful season. We proved it last year. And we've still got the new face in the team we had last year. And you know, we've got young players, U22, Campo and Cabrera, and we'll probably pick up another U22 later in the season. We've got three DP players in the league, in Kubas, Gold, and Muller. So we've got a very strong team with the best coaching you could ever find. And I know we have the respect from you know, the other coaches, other teams, the journalists in the league as being very tight knit, wonderful spirit, and that's already there. So we've got all the ingredients of another good season for the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're super excited, and it's a great year for soccer fans across the world with the World Cup, and especially as Canadians with the Whitecaps success and Canada's recent success. We're looking forward to the World Cup. We're looking forward to the Whitecaps next season, and yeah, we're going to be with you along every step of the way, keeping you guys updated with all the news going on out there. So yeah, thanks once again for tuning in to Caps on the Coast, and we've loved covering soccer recently. It's a passion of both of ours, and we're going to continue to do the same. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in.